Hey y'all, so since we talked about my budget last week, this week we're going to discuss what the average American spends every month. So I subscribe to the Dave Ramsey Every Dollar email list, and earlier this week it included an article on what the average American spends every month. I'll link that article down below. So as I've coached some of y'all, the same questions pop up. John, how much should I be spending on my housing, my groceries, my car? An even better question is, how much money do I need in retirement? Now, without going down the retirement rabbit hole too much, the amount of money you would have at the beginning when you begin taking withdrawals from your retirement should relate back to this monthly expense number. So, well, for example, let's say your expenses are around $6,000 a month. You would need around $72,000 a year, or around $1.8 million if you plan to retire at age 65 and live until about age 90. Now, of course, that's really simplifying the process, but for brevity's sake today, I'll leave it there and we'll review that a little more in a future video. But jumping back to the budgeting and the average monthly expenses, let's go ahead and look at this article so we can kind of learn a little bit more. So as we see here on Dave Ramsey, he's got the average American monthly expenses. Highly recommend the full read, but some things I wanted to highlight begin with average monthly expenses by household size. So first, if you look at a single person household, spends on average $4,600 on monthly expenses. Married couples without kids are this 7,390 dollars a month, and then a family of four on average spends between just under 8,500 a month to just under 10 grand a month on monthly expenses. So I don't know where you fall, or I don't know where you fall along this. I know for me, so married without kids right now, my wife and I fall below this average across the country. But we also live in El Paso right now, and El Paso is definitely or has a little better cost of living here. The cool part is, of course, Dave has already thought of that. So here's your cost of living tip. Using their calculator, you can click on that, which I have here, and you can put in, where you live or where you want to live, what your current salary was, and it'll show you, the cost of living in that area. So jumping back to the article, he summarizes all the different large categories here, from housing all the way down to education. If you review some of these, so housing, he specifies here, on average, just over 2,000 a month. And something important, it's not just rent or mortgage or insurance or anything like that. He also includes utilities in this too. So if you want to compare yourself to what Dave's averages are, be sure to include that. Read these different lists, just so you can see where you fall below that. Transportation, the biggest one he hits on, and if you've read Dave Ramsey, you'll see he hates car payments, but that's something included here. That's something, if you begin your baby steps, that you'll work to eliminate in baby step 3. Food, there's personal insurance and pensions, healthcare, entertainment, cash contributions, apparel and services, education, and other expenditures. And this kind of brings up a couple more thoughts to think of as well. And more in the retirement category is how inflation will impact your cost of living. So I said approximately you need about 1.8 million by the time you're 65 to live until you were 90. But that doesn't include any inflation, or that doesn't include if you move to a more expensive place or move to a cheaper place. So these are all things you need to keep in mind, and this is why it's so important to keep up on your budget so you can get an educated guess on how much you might need in your retirement. And of course, Dave was out there with your budget. I hope you enjoyed a quick video today on what the average cost of living is. Hope you learned something. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on something you'd like to learn in the finance category, and I'll get on to it to educate you. I hope you all have a great, wonderful week, and I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you all later. Thanks. Bye.